Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. As of late, Tesla Energy has been on fire, and that trend is continuing as Tesla will now be providing Intersect power with 15.3 gigawatt hours of megapacks for solar and storage projects. This is equivalent to 15,300 megawatt hours divided by 4 megawatt hours per megapack would be 3,825 megapacks at roughly $1 million each. That's $3.8 billion. This agreement, when combined with previous commitments, make Intersect Power one of the largest buyers and operators of megapacks globally, with around 10 gigawatt hours of large-scale storage expected to be deployed by the end of 2027. This is Tesla Energy's largest contract by far, as for all of 2023, Tesla deployed 14.7 gigawatt hours of energy storage, and that includes Powerwall. Tesla has previously supplied megapacks for Intersect Power's base portfolio of solar and storage facilities totaling 2.4 gigawatt hours in operation or under construction. Intersect plans to utilize over half of this new order of megapacks for 4 projects in California and Texas, expected to achieve operations by the end of 2027, including what will be some of the largest battery installations in the country, and the rest will be utilized in Intersect's subsequent portfolio of solar and storage coming online between 2028 and 2030. Intersect CEO said no one in the market can match Tesla's depth of experience in storage tech. This partnership is the foundation of one of the largest and fastest growing storage portfolios in the country here at Intersect. The megapacks to be installed at the Intersect Power projects are scheduled to be delivered in 2025 and 2026 and will be produced in Lathrop. As mentioned, this Intersect company to date has 2.4 gigawatt hours of storage in operation or under construction, which means most of all of the projects they've done so far have used Tesla megapacks. So they're a repeat customer for Tesla, and in a massive way, so clearly that's a bullish sign. Also, in their About Me, you'll see that they are focused on not just battery storage, but data centers as well. In another article from Energy Storage, the trio of projects in Texas are 2-hour duration systems. The Texas projects, named Lumina 1, 2, and Radian, will utilize Tesla megapacks, with each comprising 86 units. 2 of them, Lumina 2 and Radian, will be operated in the market using Tesla's auto bidder optimization and trading platform. And the Tesla Megapack account on X confirmed those 3 sites in Texas that are set to be commissioned within 12 months will total 966 megawatt hours. Joe Tetmeyer said, comparing to the installation of megapacks at Giga Texas, this contract with Intersect is about 70 times larger. This contract will be fulfilled over the next 6 years, but at $3.8 billion in revenue, even if you bring the gross margins down to 20%, given that Tesla has cut the price of the Megapack by roughly 50% over the past year, that would still be about $765 million in gross profit just from this one contract alone. We have to be careful extrapolating revenue and profits from Megapack deals because we don't know the contract pricing, any volume discounts, the timing of project milestones, and where Tesla's Megapack margins will come in after cutting the Megapack cost in half over the past year. But no matter how you cut it, Wall Street is going to be forced to adjust their spreadsheets to account for what's happening on the Tesla Energy side. And these are just the projects we know about. Then layer in the deferred revenue that Tesla Energy is set to recognize, which sits at nearly $4 billion already, and Tesla Energy is on the verge of forcing Wall Street to begin repricing its models for Tesla stock by itself over the next few years. The timing of this feels serendipitous for Tesla, as it should serve as a bridge until we get to the next-gen platform vehicles and/or Optimus. From Late Post, a Chinese source, we got another great report on the Tesla 4680 project. They've learned exclusively that Tesla plans to mass produce the 4680 battery with dry electrode by the end of this year, which will be the complete version of the 4680. They've learned the design of the 4680 battery with dry positive electrode, aka the cathode, has been finalized, which is the first step towards mass production. The battery department will then focus on improving the production yield and efficiency and expanding capacity. After Drew Baglino resigned in April this year, Tesla adjusted its technical route and achieved a breakthrough in mass production of dry cathodes. An insider said dry electrodes can change Tesla, and we know they've already figured it out on the anode side. As a refresher, dry electrode production eliminates many processes. It greatly reduces the capex of unit battery production capacity in plant area and improves battery performance and production efficiency. The dry cathode is the most important and difficult breakthrough in the entire 4680 process, and the cathode materials are also the highest cost components in the battery, accounting for more than 35%. Insiders said that among the material suppliers for the 4680s produced by Tesla in the US, there are hardly any Chinese companies left, and some of the production equipment has also been switched to Japanese and European and American companies. Tesla also plans to have LG directly supply complete wet cathode 4680 batteries later this year, which will be installed on the Model Y produced in the US. It'll be interesting to see the stats of that Model Y with 4680s if they do bring that back, because the first time around, remember, they were using Gen 1 4680s and then they upgraded to the Cybercell, but that was only for the Cybertruck. The word is Tesla has about 800 people on the 4680 team right now, and there are reports out there that Tesla would consider abandoning the self-produced 4680 battery if they can't hit their goals by the end of this year. Personally though, I think that's more of a motivation tactic from Elon and the management for the team to actually get this done, rather than Tesla actually being at risk of scrapping the entire 4680 production. But if Tesla can get the 4680 costs below that of their suppliers like LG by the end of the year, it'll have the cheapest battery produced domestically in the US, and the recent progress in dry cathode technology has given the battery department the possibility to achieve that year-end goal. A former Tesla engineer said they had a small amount of customized and calibrated dry electrode rolling equipment. Each time that equipment failed, it took about 45 days to repair. The report is saying for a while, Tesla was trying to figure out a workaround rather than spending the money on new equipment from new suppliers, but in the end, that's what they ended up doing. After setting up this new equipment, a source close to Tesla said the confidence from the battery department has increased recently because they believe the most difficult stage of R&D has passed, and the main problem now is engineering optimization. The path is already relatively clear and time can solve it. If this new DBE process for cathodes is successful and the yield reaches a high level, Tesla will be able to produce the 4680 on its own without relying on suppliers for core components. They said Tesla has not yet contacted Chinese equipment suppliers for core processes like DBE, rolling, and winding with core suppliers from Japan and Germany. First of all, Tesla has greatly de-risked its 4680 supply chain from China. Second, we now have multiple sources reporting Tesla is making great progress on DBE for the cathode, which to date has been the hardest problem. Third, the 4680 team is now confident they can hit their goals by the end of this year, which is getting the COGS for these 4680s below that of the LG suppliers. Third, the 4680 team is now more confident that they can hit their goals by the end of the year, and that's getting 4680 COGS below that of LG. Fourth, I really couldn't have seen Tesla scrapping the entire 4680 project even if they missed their goals this year, but all of these reports make that event even less likely. For all of last year, we were saying that Tesla still has one major nut to crack for 4680s, and that's DBE for the cathode. So if they actually figure this out at scale, which it sounds like they're on track to do over the next 12 months, we could see a major inflection in 4680 production and a significant decrease in the cost of the cells. Not to mention, that would also set the stage for better energy densities as well. It's not done yet, but these are very encouraging reports. This right here is a problem that most people have no idea about. With the proliferation of more intelligent vehicles, they also now pose significant privacy risks by collecting vast data on drivers' behaviors. These automakers are using this data and sharing it or selling it to third parties, including insurance companies. Your rates could be higher because they're secretly tracking your driving behavior. An investigation found GM, Honda, Kia, Subaru, Hyundai, and Mitsubishi Mitsubishi are tracking drivers' data on everything from when they drive to how hard they hit their brakes. These companies are tracking millions of drivers' data, sneakily selling it to third-party brokers. What this means is consumers' personal data is now subject to a world of data breaches, identity theft, and targeted scams. Luckily, there is a way out of this mess, and the solution is signing up for Delete Me as fast as you can. I became interested in a service that would wipe all of my sensitive data from the internet early last year after I saw these statistics. Last year alone, there were 1 million reports of identity theft, which is crazy. And I was getting way too many robocalls and spam emails, so I took a weekend and did some research. I ended up watching nearly every video on Delete Me on YouTube, and I was sold. Fast forward to now, and they sponsor the channel. Delete Me scours the web for every data broker out there and checks for your personal information. If they find it anywhere, they go through the laborious work of contacting each data broker to request they remove your data. Delete Me also follows up regularly to make sure your information stays off these sites. And even better, Delete Me continually scans the internet, finding all of the new data brokers that are constantly popping up. Here's my most recent quarterly report. With my personal advisor, I can contact at any time. This time around, they reviewed nearly 4,000 listings and removed 40 that actually had my personal information. That right there likely saved me over 50 hours of work. So if you'd like to protect your family's data and privacy and support a great US-based company, you can head to joindeleteme.com/electrified to get 20% off using my code electrified. The link is below. A number of Tesla's component suppliers are scouting for the right location to kickstart or expand operations in India. This even as Tesla's plans to make vehicles in the country are still fluid. Of course, Tesla would be more likely to go where its supplier ecosystem is, and 3 of Tesla's suppliers were in Gujarat for site visits recently. The game plan to bag Tesla will be to tap its supplier ecosystem. If there were to be a Tesla India announcement, I wouldn't expect it anytime before 2025. Chuck Cook shared some pictures from a drone flyover of the ADAS test operators in his neighborhood, and the car was possibly using a Starlink Mini. He also asked about FSD and Cybertruck, to which Elon said yes, Cybertruck FSD releases with 12.5, which also finally merges the city and highway code. Now, it's not confirmed this was a Starlink Mini in this Tesla, but it's something Adam Jonas has been talking about now for a long time, a future collaboration between Starlink and Tesla. In the latest version of the Tesla mobile app, version 4.35.0, to conserve the vehicle's battery, the app only wakes it when you send a command. So finally, now when you open your Tesla app, if you don't do anything, it won't wake the vehicle. And before your vehicle goes to sleep, it does send the vehicle data to the cloud and stores it, so you'll still be able to have the most recent data without waking your vehicle. Farzad said it's about time for Texas to allow Tesla to sell direct to consumers in the state. Rohan Patel added, the current Texas government has made it just as good or better to operate without a franchise license. That could change with a future government, so a law change is preferred for business certainty long term. Rohan said the biggest advantage of how it's set up now, you can be open on Saturday and Sunday. Licensed franchise dealers have to choose to be open Saturday or Sunday. Pretty much everything else can be done at the gallery. Financing, leasing, trade-ins, test drives, insurance, safety inspections, etc. So Rohan confirmed what we've thought to be true. On the surface, these dealer protection laws seem to be ridiculous, but in actuality and in practice, the way it's set up really is not that bad for Tesla. There were some rumors Elon was going to speak at the Republican National Convention tonight, but he denied those, saying he is not speaking. A heads up, Dirty Tesla was talking about the new Cybertruck Vault divider, and he said it does not fit and I do not suggest anyone buy it. It wasn't just Chris though, as Danny was having similar problems. I'm sure this will be fixed in time, but at least for now, just FYI. Ford said it plans to expand production production of its Super Duty pickup line in Oakville, Ontario, scrapping plans to spend $1.3 billion turning that site into an EV assembly hub. Previously, Ford had delayed plans to build 2 3-row electric crossovers to 2027 from 2025. Ford had not started installing any EV tooling or equipment at this site, and Ford said it still intends to produce the 3-row EVs in 2027, but they didn't say where. Rather than spend $1.3 billion toward EV production, they're looking to now spend $3 billion to expand Super Duty production. This decision will create more jobs for the plant, and it's no surprise that Unifor, Canada's union, is behind the decision. Not that the union made the decision, but they said, working with our local unions and company execs, we came to an agreement that'll not only see our members back to work sooner, it protects our members' jobs well into the future. I know some people were excited for Tesla's new climate UI with the latest update, and here's a photo of it. I'm not sure it's going to live up to expectations. It's pretty similar at first glance, with the controls shuffled around a bit and without the boxes around them, which actually makes them harder to see in my opinion. But this does allow for the actual car display to be larger, so it should be easier to adjust the vents. There were some photos of a camouflaged F-150 Lightning benchmarking against the Cybertruck. And it's pure speculation, but they're saying these could be the first Ford prototypes on the road with in-wheel or hub motors. Stellantis is recalling 24,000 plug-in hybrid minivans worldwide because of fire risks, and they're urging owners to park outside and away from structures. The problem is linked to an abnormality with individual cells, and the customers are advised to refrain from recharging. They're working on a software update designed to detect the abnormality, and if found, the dealers will replace the high voltage battery. GM's joint venture in China with SAIC has the capacity to build 1.9 million vehicles per year. But year to date, through the first half of the year, they've only produced 210,000. GM ranks among the worst market performers when gauged by sales of its proprietary brands. Wholesale deliveries for SAIC and GM hit 2 million in 2017, the high watermark. Compare that to last year when that volume was only 1 million. They do have an expanded lineup in the market, but so far it's failed to boost EV sales. And the majority of the EVs GM includes in its China sales have been generated by SAIC. Chinese models use 20 times more OTA updates post-launch than global traditional automakers. We'll be generous and say this partnership produces 500,000 vehicles this year. That's still only 26% of the total capacity. Nearly 130 charging cords were stolen from Electrify America's station in the first 5 months of this year. That's more cases than during all of 2023. Seattle has been a hot spot for this vandalism, but it's happening in other states as well. The replacement costs range from $500 to $7,000. Electrify America is saying replacing these cut cables for them is between $2,000 and $4,000. EVgo has also said vandalism has been increasing, and they're saying that the copper in these cables is really only worth $23. The whole time I read this article, I was thinking all of these sites need to have cameras, and then they said right here, multiple EA stations do have cameras. In Seattle, these cases are now being assigned to Major Crimes Task Force due to the frequency and the likelihood of repeated targeted crimes. Lex Friedman said he visited XAI and Tesla supercomputer clusters in Memphis and Texas and was blown away by the rapid rate of progress. It was fascinating to watch Elon and team constantly improve every aspect of the process. I had to show you from Elon alerts because for some reason Lex has me blocked on X. Lex and I only ever had one interaction and it was very positive, but I did hear that someone else was running his account and just mass blocking people for whatever reason. Bloomberg NEF is saying at the current pace, public fast charging sites will outnumber gas stations in the US in about 8 years. North American operators will spend a collective $6.1 billion on charging infrastructure this year, nearly double the 2023 investment. A VP at EVgo said, "We're seeing demand for fast charging skyrocket. We're continuing to build bigger and bigger stations because we need to keep up with demand. We're getting past a turning point where fueling stations and convenience stores are really seeing the value proposition. It's a very welcome turn from how they were behaving in the regulatory space even as recently as a couple years ago." You have a few anecdotes that suggest a lack of charging, and that gets conflated to charging overall, but it's important to make sure people are aware of how quickly these stations are coming online. We've been saying that late this year and throughout 2025 should be great for public EV charging, with companies like Iona finally starting to deploy chargers, paired with EA fixing a lot of its problems and other companies like EVgo continuing to grow. Visiting Giga Texas is about to be a bit more interesting, as Neuralink is building a 112,000 square foot facility just 20 minutes away. It's expected to be complete by the end of May 2025. Holmar shared a screenshot from a Cybertruck update that now has sub-destinations. Now when you enter a navigation destination, you can select a sub-destination like a specific terminal at the airport to get more accurate routing details. Something to keep an eye on for Tesla sales in California. For the past 3 quarters now, the growth rates have indeed been negative. And in Q2 of this year, it was down 24%. There are many factors that impact Tesla's sales, but that's why I said it'll be something to watch. Tesla stock closed the day at $249.23, up 0.29%, while the Nasdaq was down 0.7%. It was a normal volume day for Tesla, trading about 2 million shares above the average volume the past 30 days. Don't forget, for those interested, check out Delete Me, linked below. Personally, I think it's a great company to support, and obviously comes with many benefits for you as well. Hope you have a wonderful day. Please like the video if you did. You can find me on X, linked below, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.